All right, folks, welcome to our series again on building Lego characters. So we've gotten the body parts with the head, we've gotten arm built, and now it's time for the hand, which is a little tricky because it's mainly because this cylinder here comes off of this cylinder at a little bit of an angle. So let's get started. First of all, I think that the diameter of this circle is about 1.5 of that. So if we take a look at arm we made and do some measurements, I know the inside was 0.125, the outside is 0.175. So we're gonna deal with that. Now I think I'm gonna make this in another part studio because there's no planes in here that match with the center of this. And I'll have to assemble it anyway. So let's start a new part studio. And it doesn't matter what we start on as long as, I think I'll start with the top. And as long as I start in the origin, and that's going to become clear in a little while. So let's turn off all planes. And, oh, I guess I didn't sketch on there. New sketch. There we go. All right, view normal. And we're going to make that first circle, first of all, hooked up to the origin. And the other circle was 0.175. And this time I'm going to put times 1.5. There we go. So that it is, let me make sure that I had that right with the 0.175. All right, good. Cool. All right, so here we go. That's going to be the main claw. There is another piece inside. And I wonder if we can make it as big as 0.25. We're going to have to make it its own thing. Now, in case we make accessories like something for the harm to be holding later, I probably ought to make this a normal size. So let's dimension that to 0.1875 is a typical size. And now we have to figure out how we're going to cut this thing. So let's take a look at how this is kind of cut. It goes pretty straight from here, maybe a little bit inward. So we're going to kind of come out like this. There we go. And again, we're going to use our constraints to do things like do a horizontal constraint between this and this and that and that. And let's make these two things equal to each other. That equal to that. And some tangent constraints to make sure that that is smooth with that and that is smooth with that. All right, good deal. Let's make sure by hovering over them, I can tell if I did it or not. All right, good deal. Now, move that in just a little bit, about like that. Now we can do some trimming. All right, and some filleting that I think I'll do in a little bit. I think I'll do that second rather than now. So we're going to extrude to what works. You know, again, we're trying to make it look about right. Okay, let's go 0.22. That looks pretty good. Let's fillet these little corners just a tiny little bit, like 0.0 something. And just take a look and see how it looks. Well, that is not very much. I don't know why it didn't like one side. Huh, let's try that again. Not sure why it didn't want to do that. I'm going to fillet this edge. I know 0.2 is going to be too much. Let's try 0.05. Just see how that looks. I do not want to do that. All right. Well, let's delete the extrusion and see if we can go back into the sketch. Now, why do I have two sketches going on? That's kind of interesting. Let's turn off sketch 2. Yeah, sketch 1 doesn't have anything going on. I'm going to delete that. Always pay attention to your browser because it's telling you things that you might not know from your vision. Okay, we're going to try and fillet this. And go from here to here. And I'm getting that same problem I was before. All right, fine. I've got a different way of doing this. We can go back into our sketch, draw an arc instead. We're going to go 3-point arc from there to there to there. And we'll make some tangent constraints with that to that and that to that. Do the same thing over here. To there, to there, and tangent. Whoops, tangent. That to that, and that to that. And then an easy way of making sure that they're the same is I'll make them equal to each other. Like that, equal to that. And just for good measure, we'll do a horizontal constraint between the center points. All right. And now when we extrude, I'll just extrude that. And again, I think we went to 0.22. All right. Like the way that looked. Can turn off the sketch again. Okay, yeah, that looks much better. All right, now we're going to draw that. Actually, let's sketch. I need to remember which plane went right through the middle here. It was the right. Okay, so I can turn off the front and the top. I'm going to sketch on the right. And I'm going to view normal, zoom in here, and I'm going to also section view this so that I'm looking in the middle because I want to cut off that little arc over here. I'm going to use this edge here and this edge down here. I'm going to make myself an arc. It's going to cut off the bottom, and again, using my tangent constraints. There we go. And finish my sketch. Let's turn our section view off. And now we're going to take this guy and we're going to cut symmetric. We're going to go both directions. We're going to remove through all. Now I want to go through. There we go. I don't know why it went off symmetric. All right. Yeah, that's starting to look a little bit more like it. Let's see how it looks when I look at the characters. Probably need to cut off the top part too. Let's go back to that. So let's delete that and go back to our sketch 1 section view again. And this time I am going to also project these edges up here. Make another smaller arc than that one. Just kind of smooth it out a little bit. And we're going to tangent constraint again. And see how that looks. That's looking pretty good. I like that. And this time, turn my section view off again. This time I'm going to extrude both of those things. This shape. I'm going to remove symmetric. Okay. And right now I'm going through all of it. All right. Much better. Now we could do filleting and everything else, except that's looking as good as I'd like it to look. All right, so now we need to do a sketch on the right again. I'm going to section view again. And this time we're going to make that little peg that comes off, but it comes off, if we look back at this, it kind of goes downward at a little bit of an angle. So we're going to make a line here. And in fact, I think I'm going to do just a revolve here. So use that edge. Let's get straight on again. I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint. There we go. But I'm going to go at a little bit of a downward angle here. Now it's going to stick into the arm piece, I think 0.125. So I think I'll make it 0.25 long. So it's sticking out 1/8 of an inch and also around. And now we're going to make a rectangle, but I need it to come into the part a little bit. So I'm going to come inward, line it up. That yellow line, notice it means that it's lining up with that. We're going to come out perpendicular. That's what I want. And the distance is going to be 0.125 divided by 2 because I'm only going to revolve half of that. Now we're coming over to here. We're parallel. That's good. And I want to be perpendicular to that. And it's making it vertical. I don't want it to be vertical, so I'll change that in just a moment. Go to here. Now let's make a perpendicular constraint here to here. Cool. Now I do want to make sure that that is not going to, oh wow, it's tilting a little more than I would like. Huh. I don't necessarily, I thought we were locked up to the midpoint there, but I don't want that going into other material. I make a coincident constraint. And let's see how that goes. There is another method we can use if this doesn't work. All right, so we're now going to revolve. No, I want both of those shapes. It won't let me select in here. All right. As always, there's another way we could do this. Well, let's try and see what it looks like. So we'll revolve this shape around this axis. I don't know why I didn't choose that. There we go. Ooh, boy. Let's see what happens if we make a new part. We can merge them later. And let's turn section view off and see how that looks. Yeah, see how it's got that funny little part that's sticking out there that didn't quite go inward. All right, there's a better way of doing this. So let's show the better way. Actually, I'm going to use that sketch because it's already on the plane that I want, except that I'm going to section view again, and I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff because I don't want it anymore. Okay, I'm not sure why. Oh, I was still in the section view part. All right. And every time I seem to click on the view cube, it wants to have a problem. So I'm going to now project this edge again. There we go. And draw a line. Now it doesn't want to project these edges. Let me try that again. Use that edge. Okay, now it did. And I'm going to draw that line, a line this time from the midpoint of that. Again, I'm going to make it 0.25 and at a little bit of a downward angle like that. We can change the angle later if we need to. All right. All right. Good. Now, here's how I think I'd like to do this. I'm going to turn the section view off. I'm going to create a plane out here that is point normal. That point, that line, make it perpendicular to that. I don't know why it makes the thing so huge, but it does. I'm going to turn off the right, and we're going to sketch on this plane. And view normal. All right. Now, on that plane, I'm going to draw a circle. That is 0.125. Finish that sketch. And now we're going to extrude that the other way. We're going to go up to next. So that means as soon as it hits solid material, it's going to finish that. All right, we look good to go with the hand. I like it. That looks pretty good. All right, so there's the hand. We have now finished the characters, the body. We've got the arms, and we've got the hand. Next thing is that we're going to put this thing all together. I think I'll make the hand the same color as the head. So if I look at that head and say edit appearance, what did I choose? I chose that guy right there, 2 down on kind of the yellow one. So let's go edit appearance. Same thing, looking pretty good. And again, I like to turn off things that I don't want to see, like planes and stuff that I don't look at. Origin. All right. All right. So next step, we'll put it all together. All right. See you on that side, on when we do that part.